Hello, welcome back. It's Sonomi again. Today, I would like to show you how to make magazine collage art inspired by Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt was born in 1862 in Austria. At first, he began his career painting murals and ceilings in theaters and buildings. And Klimt wanted to symbolically explore themes of psychology. He was also the most influenced by Japanese art and his methods. This is one of the most famous Japanese art. You might have seen this before. It's a woodblock print by Hokusai called The Great Wave of Kanagawa. Kanagawa is the name of the area. So you can see the Mount Fuji in the background with the wave of ocean. And this is another block print by Utamaro called Phoenix and Beauties. Now I will show you one of the Klimt's work. This is one of the most famous painting called The Kiss. And this is Lady in Gold. Do you see he was influenced by Japanese art? Japanese art is very flat, no depth like traditional European paintings. They are more designed with shapes and compositions. Also, I noticed that he uses a lot of gold. You see this? Gold leaf was used a lot in traditional Japanese paintings as well. So here is the coloring page. You see a lot of lines and designs. And this is another painting by Klimt. And this is the coloring page that I found online. You see a lot of lines and shapes. So what do you see? There are some triangles, like boxes, squares, these spirals. So a lot of lines, shapes. So let's talk about lines and shapes. It's a horizontal line going this way. This is a vertical line, diagonal line, wavy line, zigzag, spirals, and you can do thick line, thin line, and dotted lines. So do you see like kind of emotions in lines? Like let's see, this is kind of calm, nice, and this is zigzag. It's kind of like excited or angry or in spirals, I don't know, confused or moving. These are also moving. So the lines would have emotions, or you can, when you paint, especially abstract paintings, you can use these ideas how you want to make it, make your artwork excited or calm, happy. Okay, let's talk about shapes. So these are geometric shapes, and these are organic shapes, natural shapes, and it's kind of in between right here. So you have circle, triangle, square, rectangle, oval, diamond, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, and so on. And you can do large shapes or small shapes, right? And these are symbolic shapes: heart, star, moon, and some organic shapes, natural shapes. There's some clouds, leaves, flowers. So these are the shapes and these are the lines. So I would like you to do to think about designing lines and shapes. Okay? So now I am going to show you what we need today. So you need magazines. This is magazine collage. You have some fashion magazines would be great. If you have newspapers, anything but with a color, that would be better. And you need glue stick. And the papers, like a nice thick watercolor paper because we are going to paint. But if you don't have any, you can use these copy papers, just white papers. I don't have watercolor papers here, so I'm gonna just use copy papers as well. If you have metallic tempera paint, it would be great because I wanna use gold. If not, it's fine. And as always, washable tempera paint. And you need some brushes. This time it's good to have like smaller pointed brush. You can have some flat ones, but not too big. That would be probably easier. If you are going to paint, you need Sharpies because I want to have nice dark lines that doesn't fade. So when you use paint, it's a water base, so you don't want to use washable markers. It'll blend in too much. So if you have a Sharpie, it's great. If not, you can use maybe crayons, black crayons or darker color crayons. You need pencils, scissors, and if you're using painting, you need some lids. If you don't have any lids, you can use paper plates. These are for paint. And if you have cups, watercolor cups, or if you don't, you can use plastic cups, some containers, and always paper towels. So if you don't have paint, you can use markers. And it's great. For this project, maybe markers are great. And if you have crayons, also color pencils are great. Alright, so let's start. Alright, now you have magazines. You can see what you want to use. So what we're gonna do is, and just right here, it's like the lady is the only one realistic, right? So you pick up any, there's a man or ladies. You can pick anything you like to do. I'm gonna pick this lady right here. And you want to keep maybe the hair, or if you want to design your own hair, that's fine too, but I'm gonna use her hair and arms maybe. That's nice arms here. So let's cut this up. So you get the shape, right? And then go to the details. So carefully cut out the okay, so you don't need a clothes because you want to design her clothes. So I'll cut off. Up to the neck. Okay, like this. So you cut the lady, her head, some hairs, and the arms. Let's put all these other papers away. Put on the side. So make sure it's nice and clean. And if you have watercolor paper, it would be great because we're gonna use paint today. But if you don't, like I don't have any watercolor paper, I'm gonna use just a copy. And glue stick. And you just stick this onto the paper. Anywhere you want to have the lady on top, on the side. You decide where you want to do it, where you want to have her, because you're gonna design the dress and the background. So I'm gonna put her right here. It's good to have a paper again on the table. You flip over and put glue. Make sure you cover all the edge and put lady here. This. All right, now let's design the dress. So you can use pencil, and you see these interesting shapes. We talked about shapes. You can use any shapes, the combination of the shapes. See these circles, square, and the small squares. So large square and small squares. What do you see? This like eyes maybe, and the triangles, kind of like star shapes here. So you just let's make the dress like a shape of the dress first, and then fill with shapes and the lines. So I'm gonna draw a dress for her. She's gonna have a nice long dress. And you can just put some lines first and then make, let's see, I'm gonna do triangles here. Maybe some squares here. So you'll become your own designer, okay? You design your man or lady's clothes. So far I got triangles and squares. I'm gonna mix with circles. You can probably do all over the place. Oval, large oval, more squares. Maybe stars inside of these squares, rectangles, maybe do oval inside and looks like the eye. And you just keep going. You can use lines if you like. Have fun designing your dress. You can combine with the lines. You can do zigzags, waves, You see, this is a nice dress, right? So let's design the background. So you can decide what you want to do with the background. You can do trees like this, or you can fill out with all the different shapes. So I usually like to do is I draw lines like this. Right? And then again fill in all these places with the lines and shapes. Like this. You can do heart shapes. These spirals. Right, this is fun. You see this spirals, zigzags, waves, heart shapes. You can put different, so there is a line and then different shapes within the line. You can do some stripes maybe. Or you can just do more lines in between. So you just fill all in. I am not going to do everything right now because it takes time, but take your time, finish up all these, your design first. If you have a paint, you want to use Sharpie to go over these lines. So you can see better. It's nice and dark. Same thing in the clothes, the dress. And I like to have the line for the dress a little bit thicker so you see the dress from here and the background is different. Maybe have this. So you'll see this dress and the rest is the background. So again, you just finish everything here. You put all the shapes and trace with the marker, Sharpie. So let's say these are all filled and I am done. Then we're gonna move on to paint. So if you have some lids or plates, you put some paint that you want to use. This is gold, it's nice. I'm gonna use that for sure. This is kind of like a copper color. A little darker than gold, but it's a nice gold, nice sparkly paint. This is silver, nice and shiny. definitely want to use black. But that's your choice, you don't have to do exactly the same. Some black. So let's pick maybe, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6 colors. You can have more if you like. And you need brushes and a cup with the water inside. You just start painting. Don't wet your brush too much. You don't want to get too watery. So wipe out, and I start with the gold. This is too close to her hair color. So because she has blonde hair, I want to do red instead. So I go over with the red. I'm gonna do a red dress. Alright, so she got nice red dress with a nice design here. And again, you clean your brush very well and use nice clean paper towel. So you have pink still. You take off all the paint off and dry your brush. That's very clean. And let's do with the gold. You paint any color you want. Put in your brush, wipe, and the next to this, I'll maybe do silver. Clean your brush. Next, I'll do this a little bit orange copper paint. It's nice, right? Alright, so in case you don't have paint, I'll show you with the marker. You can use markers. And it's same thing, you can just go over. If you have Sharpie, you can use Sharpie or not. Do some lines. You can also fill in with the markers. It's like a coloring paper. You can just color as you like. So you can fill in like this, nice details, or you can go over lines. You can also use color pencils. You can do this. You can do lines with a marker, and then you can use pencils to go over. It's nice green with the dark lines. So with the pencils, you can go into the details too. So if you have a smaller shapes, let's say you did some small circles. You can color these small circles. So with pencils you can go to the details, it's nice. And color outside of the circles. This is nice too. So you can enjoy just either with the markers and pencils, just markers, just pencils, or Sharpie with paint. I want to kind of go into this details here. It's just red and the lines and shapes. It's nice, but maybe I'll color a little bit more. So a cream brush. I have black. So maybe go over some of the shapes. You fill in the shapes. So you need to wait till dry this first. They don't mix. So I just went over some blacks here with the brush and paint. Then maybe I'll do some gold on this one. You see some gold and black on the red dress. So same thing with these, once it's dry, this area is not dry yet, so these are dry, so I go over with the cream brush. Make sure you don't have too much water, because if you mix with the water, it goes everywhere. So once it's dry, you can paint on top. And again, when you change the color, make sure you clean the brush very well, dry well. Go. So you just do all the designs here, paint or use markers, pencils to fill everywhere, and it'll be very, very nice artwork. It's done. This is one of the artwork that my students did. These are all just markers. You see all the lines, thick lines, thin lines, heart shapes, diamonds, eyes, and I'll show you some of this. I have photos. I don't know if you can see. So this is a great work by one of my students. Here's bigger. You see this? So beautiful. This is only with the markers and the pencils. It's really beautiful. This is another one. This is beautiful, just black and white. And this, some silver with teardrops, stars. This is another beautiful one. This one with metallic paint, gold and silver, and the markers and pencils. That's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the project, and I hope to see you next week. We'll do clay next week. So have a great week. Bye.